Hi, I'm Joe Osbaker,
And I'm Stephanie Weiner.
and our home was one of those raided by the FBI on Friday, the 24th of September. At 7 in the morning, there was a knock on the door, and we looked out to see about 10 FBI agents. They entered our home with a search warrant, and over the course of the day, they searched every room in our house, went through all of our personal papers stretching back through our 3 decades of political activism. They also searched the rooms of our children, including their artwork, their t-shirt collection, and at the end of the day they hauled out over 30 boxes of our effects and papers.
As you can imagine, it was very traumatic and confusing. In the beginning of the day, we had not a sense of what was the basis of this and what this was about. By the end of the day, we understood that it was not about we too and our yellow house and those boxes. There was 14 people that were targeted in this subpoena, and for also raids on their houses, and even some peace organizations. And what we started to understand is that this was an attack on the entire peace movement and solidarity movement activists for speaking out, for organizing, in an attempt to silence, divide, and intimidate us. What we've learned in the past week is much more understanding about a more recent Supreme Court decision in June called Holder versus Humanitarian Aid. This Supreme Court decision and what we are going through now is an attempt to expand the definition of what actually is material support to include basic organizational activism, such as speeches in the United States, educational events, or even collecting testimonies by those affected by U.S. war and occupation around the world. What we've also learned is a much deeper understanding of how a grand jury and subpoenas are used to abuse political movements throughout time. What we've learned more, what I've gotten to understand and what we've all gotten to understand is more about how the evidence is in a cloak of secrecy, how there's no lawyer, no judge, and people can be jailed for contempt if they don't answer questions. What we've understood is that in this situation, it is nothing more than a fishing expedition to try and find evidence for people that have done no wrong.
People ask us why we've been targeted, and what we seem to have in common is that all of us were involved in the protests at the Republican National Convention 2 years ago. Remember too that prior to this, 8 protesters, 8 organizers had been charged with domestic terrorism charges in conjunction with those protests. Those charges have all now been dropped as well.
Another aspect that we consider is that it is about our activism. For example, I work in the Palestine Solidarity Group in Chicago, a legal organization in which we work to educate people about U.S. money that is being sent to aid Israel and the problems with the occupation of the Palestinian people and the war on the Palestinian people. One of our campaigns, for example, in Chicago is to cut off the money of the sister city relationship between Chicago and Petah Tikva. In the Columbia work, many people across the country work to educate people and organize against the enormous amount of money that is sent to the Colombian government in the purpose of repressing the people of Colombia rising and working for peace. We're so thankful that we're up to over 60 cities that have made statements and had actions all across the country. Religious organizations, unions, student groups, and even international support is starting to pour in about these bigger, broader issues. The next legal step is in the hands of the Department of Justice. They could cancel the grand jury. They could carry on but leave us alone. They could subpoena us again, giving us the option to talk or go to jail. We don't know what the next steps will be. We will not be silent. The movements that are involved will continue to organize. We need your support. Please follow us at www.stopfbi.net. We need your help. We need everybody's help.